I'm here as a president of Unarete, which is an association for digital democracy. We talked a bit about that this morning. I'm sorry for my English, but my German is even worse, so I know I don't have any chance to change. Just a little question. How many politicians are there? None, as usual. As usual. That's the issue, probably. We should try to find a way to involve them much more. Because talking about this, as Bob said in the beginning, open source and open standard adoption in public administration should be something that politicians think about. Because they have to take decision on that, and we will see how. So this is just for you. If you have some question, please do. Please go on. So public administration has some constraint when in procurement, in software procurement, because they have to give some guarantee. But they have also some common rules they have to share. So the development of technologies can be seen at least from 3 different points of view. From the technical point of view, computer, hardware, software technologies. Easiness of use, technologies evolution, which is always more simple and economical point of view, which is the last, but is essential for the public administration point of view. Well, risks, there are some, of course, because the evolution of technologies is not by definition democratic. It can be, but it can be not if politicians, they don't think about that. The risk is that too few suppliers keep the market, and so technologies are more and more instruments of power instead of being tools of progress. It's something that Bob said this morning. And the last speech, of course, too. But many population groups are weaker for mental, physical, age, gender, income, or cultural reasons. So we should, as a public administration, think about. So the role of politics is essential in lowering the digital divide and to fill the gap between technologies and citizens. So we heard this morning the word participation. It is essential from my point of view. Sorry. I'm going the other way. Opportunities. Public administration turned above mentioned risk into opportunity. Should do that because it should grant citizens and, of course, enterprises, which are in some sense customers of public administration, the reduction of discrimination condition. And what we just heard about Microsoft in the European Commission is exactly this. It's something that the European Commission did against discrimination condition for enterprises in this sense, but of course we do have the same problem for citizens too. And the discrimination is generated not just based on macroscopic separation, what we call north and south, but is observable locally, because economically and social structure can be different for people. So there are some barriers we should go on. Just look at this. That's Europe, but is not uniform. And I'm sure that going, I don't know, in France, which is, or, well, in Scandinavia, which is the best red, the best color, I'm sure that you will find people digital divided there. So the digital divide is something more fractal, as I can say. So opportunities. In this phase, public administration, and in particular, in my opinion, local public administration, has a strong opportunity to bridging the digital divide. And what President Obama did, after just 15 days, he was USA president, just to change all the software for the management of the site, which is now open source software. And in a couple of months, it switched to Creative Commons licenses for a lot of documents made by White House. So openness should be something in mind of politicians. probably this afternoon somebody will talk about this, so I just skip on that. There are some strong commitment in European Commission. So what to do in public administration then? When public administration buys software, should ensure pluralism, competition, and security. Security of software, well, you know what I mean. Integration with the software that already use, because it has been a cost for them, so they have to integrate it with them. The continuity of data. I mean, in 10 years from now, I should be able, as a public administration, to read my data independently from the platform where they run on, from the hardware and from the software or operating system point of view. Interoperability and cooperation, because more and more public administration should interoperate between each other's. And availability of source code. Let's say I didn't say here nothing on license, but at least the public administration should have the source code, at least for inspection, traceability. Even in case of proprietary software, in my opinion, public administration should get the source code of the software they have, just to inspect it, how they can check what did the software really do. And must be proprietary of the structure of data, at least. I mean, I'm trying to be open-minded and trying to be not exactly a Taliban of free software, but there are something that in public administration is essential. The structure of data is something that they should have. They cannot be able to change supplier in other case. Be proprietary of software custom, so the software that they made by themselves or they outsource, but they give the specification to do it, they must own. Of course, they must get better price-performance solution also in maintenance. Somebody talked about total cost of ownership this morning. Exactly. This is a point. They have to verify it, of course. When I'm buying software for public administration, I have to be sure that it's a good software, but I have to be sure that the total cost of ownership is something to get. Bob talked about the value for money is what public administration should think about. Buy software based on open standard. Be sure to be able to change software supply. That's an issue, very strong issue. When I'm buying software for public administration, I should be sure that in a month, in a year, in 10 years, I don't know, but I must be able to change supplier. Just because I want it or just because they don't want to sell me anymore is not essential the reason, but it's essential that I should be able to change it. And be sure that the software acquired will not have any kind of backdoors. How can I be sure if I buy binary code? There is no way, but I should be sure. Think about how many data public administration have covered by strong privacy. Let's say all the health issues, all the health data should be strictly covered by privacy, but the administration who doesn't have the source code are not able to check whether the software is doing something wrong, let's say. That's what Seneca was, well, some years ago said. The best ideas are common property. And I do agree on that. I suppose you do too, because you're here. So in giving information, we said what in buying software. Now in giving information, public administration, what should grant to citizens? First of all, transparency is one of the first words Bob said this morning. Privacy, accessibility. Accessibility in the sense both of availability of documents and accessibility for disabled people. Possibility to read public documents without having to buy any software, nor license. I mean, as a citizen, when the public administration is publishing some document on the site, on the website, I have the right to read it without buying any single software or cracking, which is worse than that. I have the right to read it just downloading the software I need? Well, there is, for instance, the word reader, so it would be easy in this sense. If they publish something on Word, doc, I will be able to read it because I have OpenOffice or because I have the word reader or whatever. But if I have to fill a form online or a form that I have to fill with my own software, they cannot push me in buying some software or need a license. They have the only alternative to give it to citizens for free. But I don't think it will be cost effective, provided that there are public money. I wouldn't agree on that. So how? Most of the previous requirements, so far we didn't say anything about free software or something like that, but all the requirements can be obtained easily just adopting open standards and open source software solutions. But even in some sense, in some case, my opinion is that, well, it's not only my opinion because, as you know, many European countries, and not only Europeans, adopt free software as a compulsory thing to adopt. I think that the compulsory should be essential in public administration. Italian history, I'm from Italy, as you probably know. Italian history is long. In 2002 was the first proposal of law for public administration adopting free software. Then we changed in the 7 years 3 governments. Right, left, and right again. So we could expect that at least one of those, right or left, they should continue on that, but they didn't. So there must be, well, it's a long way. It's really a long way. I'm quite sure that we will win because, the proprietary software is not the enemy. There is what I could say is a competitor, and we will win because this is what they should do in this direction. Well, the last thing is that in a couple of weeks from now, another project of law will be presented in Italy. I just have the proposal here just to read you the 4 points which are essential for me, saying that in conformity with the, well, I'm trying to translate it, technological neutrality, public administration should sustain and use solutions based on free software, also in order to maintain low costs, grant reuse and interoperability. Public administration in buying software should indicate reason why they do not adopt free software, which is already something. I mean, in some cases, it could be essential to adopt proprietary software. I don't see so many, but there are some. So in those cases, it is essential that they should be able to do it, just motivating it. So all those, in my opinion, are political choices, should be political choices. In this direction we should go. So going on, we have also, as you said, well, I did it with OpenOffice. I can tell you. So I don't know why now it's so spread. Probably it's another version, I don't know. But I did it with OpenOffice. Maybe the reason is that I did it on a Mac. And this is a PC or with Ubuntu, I don't know. Let's see. So, public administration in buying software developed on their own specification have to acquire the source code, as we said, but they have, at least for, this is an Italian law, which is already on since the end of 2003, so it's 7 years now, 6 years now. Public administration owning software developed on their own specification have to give it for free with the source code and documentation to any other public administration who can adapt it to its own needs. There is not written that that should be free software, but can you tell me in which other way, which other kind of license I can do this? Well, We have this law since December 2003, but I can tell you that it is still a long way to adopt. But there are more and more governments in Europe. The last, I think, is UK adopting or pushing local public administration in adopting free software solutions. Well, this is a copyright made in the other direction, so a copyleft logo. So promoting the open source software philosophy, public administration facilitates, in my opinion, a better diffusion of technologies. In fact, it's something that still Bob said this morning, and improves the access and participation opportunities for citizens and enterprises. And, well, we're talking so much about Web 2.0, we're talking about Administration 2.0. Administration 2.0 means participation. To participate, I should be able to adopt the software I want to adopt, and not something that the public administration is pushing me to adopt. In conclusion, the main issue for free software in public administration are a bigger independence from software suppliers, so they will not be obliged from suppliers to adopt some other solutions, and the possibility to develop local enterprises. Don't forget that normally when a company buying, a public administration buying software is buying it wherever. And if it's buying, let's say, we talked so much about Microsoft this morning, let's shift a bit, Oracle, okay? I'm buying SAP or Oracle solutions. Is something, well, SAP is European at least. Oracle is from the other side of the ocean. I don't have anything against USA, of course. But in being a European politician, I would be sure that nobody from outside my country or my continent in this sense, or my community, which is the European community, should be able to pushing me in doing something that I don't want to do. Let's imagine that tomorrow Oracle cuts all the licensing to Europe and will not sell any more Oracle licenses in Europe. We will not be able to do anything against that. We don't have any, well, of course we have solutions because we have other databases, but the time that public administration will spend in passing from a proprietary open database to a free database will cost a lot. And this cost is our cost, because public administration is based on taxes, which is our own money. So they must be independent, and they should develop local enterprise. While proprietary software implies, of course, a strong dependence on big non-European enterprises. Nothing against you, Bob, of course. So it's a long way, I said. But this is Latin, but I try to translate it in English. Constant dropping wears the stone. So it is now almost 10 years I'm working in open source in public administration. I'm trying to push them, and I can see mainly the Italian alternative. But in the last 10 years, we did a lot of steps in the right direction. Starting from this law in December 2003, from regional laws, because in Italy, regions can make their own laws. So we have at least 5, 7 regions on 20s having its own law on adoption of free software in public administrations. And it's a long way, but the community is growing. So I think that the community is the real key to change this. And there is a little bad issue from the public administration point of view. Normally, public administration, even those adopting free software, are not so generous with the community. They are much more using it, but they don't give it anything back. And this is not exactly what the community of free software is used to. But they will be slowly they will go on in this direction. I'm quite sure. Thank you.